Okay, I will start with an example. Suppose I give you a meter scale and I ask you to measure the length of the suppose a room, and you measure this length as suppose 5 meter. Okay, but if you are measuring the length of the room as 5 meter, it is not necessary that the length of the room is exactly 5 meter. It may be like 5.001 meter or 5.0007 meter. It can be like this. Okay, so simply it means that if you take a measurement with the help of any instrument, there will be always some error. Some error will be always there, and you cannot make a measurement error free. It is not possible to remove the complete error. However, you have methods to minimize the error. On the other hand, this error analysis is very important. The reason is, if error will be more, then it will affect your outcome, your result of the experiment, right? Now I will start with significant figures. Whenever you are when we started these classes, I discussed with you that physics is the study of physical quantities, and physical quantities are those which can be measured. Okay, so it means if you are taking a measurement, and as I told you that error will be always there, so it means that error analysis is very important in the study of physics. You will have to know that what are the different sources of error and how can you minimize them in order to get a proper outcome, a proper result. Like I gave you an example related to the projection of that rocket. In that case, we have to make very precise calculations when the rocket will start moving up, at what time, how much acceleration it will have, at what point and at what angle, and with what velocity it will throw the satellite into the orbit, so that the orbit moves in that particular so that the satellite moves in that particular orbit. Okay, so it means that for the calculation of for the measurement, there is a term which is very important, and that is significant figures. Now, what is significant figure? Significant figure is, it is the total number of correctly measured digits or the figures. Suppose you have any suppose you measure suppose 2.736 centimeter, you measure a length. Okay, then it means that it means that you have accurately measured 2, you have accurately measured 7, you have accurately measured 3, and your last digit is uncertain. Uncertain means it can be 5 also, it can be 7 also. There is an uncertainty. If error is there, then that should be in the last digit. Okay. Now if I ask you that which one is more accurate, 5.7 or 5.736, so here we will say that if suppose for the same measurement you are getting this value or this value, this second one is more accurate or more close to the accurate value, because here the number of significant figures is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, significant figures, these 3 digits are correct digits. Okay, and the fourth one is uncertain. Uncertain means here if there is a possibility of error, then either this 7 can be 8 or this 7 can be 6. It means that suppose it is 8 and here it is 7. So the error in your measurement is, if suppose this is meters, this measurement we have done in meters, then here the error can be 0.1 meter. There can be an error of 0.1 meter. If suppose we have taken this observation, then here it can be suppose the exact value is 7. Okay, it's 5.737 and you got 5.736. So it means that here the error is 0.001 meter. It means that 0.001 meter means 1 millimeter, and here the error is 10 centimeter. So which one is more accurate? The second one is more accurate, because here the amount of error in measurement is 1 millimeter only, whereas here if you are taking less number of significant digits, then your error is large. So your error, the amount of error in a quantity depends directly on the number of significant figures. If your number of significant figures will be more, then error will be less. So rather I should not say directly, but inversely proportional. Significant figures and the error, they are inversely proportional. Or you can say the accuracy and your significant figures, they are directly proportional. More number of significant figures means that the data is more accurate. Okay, or you can say more number of significant figures means the amount of error will be less. You can see here that here the amount of error is this is your 1 upon 100 of this. Okay, 100th part, 100 the error here is 100th part of error in this one. Okay, so this is your significant figures. Now the definition of significant figures is, significant figures in a reading or a data, a reading is the total number of correct digits, the correct places, absolutely correct. Okay, the digits which are absolutely correct. So significant figures is digits absolutely correct plus first uncertain digit. Okay, the correct, absolutely correct, the perfectly correct your digits plus the first uncertain digit. Here how many, here which one is perfect is your correct, absolutely correct digit, it is 5, and the uncertain digit is 7. Okay, here the correct digits are 5, 7 and 3, and the uncertain digit is 6. The last digit is always uncertain. There is always uncertainty because as I told you that you cannot make a data completely error free. Error will always be there. However, you can minimize the error. Here, if you take this reading, then your error will be large, and if you keep more number of significant figures in your reading, then your error will be less. So this is the relationship of significant figures with error. Okay. Now, how to know that how many significant figures are there? Suppose you have any kind of reading, then how you will come to know that how many significant figures are there? Okay. So for that we have few rules, and these rules are very important. You will have to by heart or you will have to cram the rules. The first one is all non-zero digits are significant. Okay, all the non-zero digits in a reading are significant. Suppose you write 2.736, then how many significant digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have 4 significant digits, right? This is your rule number 1. Then rule number 2 is about the zeros. So non-zero digits are significant. Now what about zeros? Zeros between non-zero digits are significant. The zeros which are included between the non-zero digits, like suppose 2.7036. So this zero is included between the non-zero digits, or you can write 4.70773. So you have non-zero digits this side, non-zero digits this side also, so you have a zero in between. Or if suppose you have 6.70007, right? So how many significant digits you have? You have 5, you have 6, you have 6. So 6 significant digits, 6 significant digits, 5 significant digits. So 0 included between, right? The 0 present in between non-zero numbers, non-zero digits, it will be counted as significant digit.
Sir?
Okay? Yes.
सर जो ना 6.70007 था उसके अंदर जो मिडिल वाला जीरो था उसके आजू बाजू तो जीरो थे ना?
No beta, you will not see like this. You will have to take any kind of zero. So you just take the example 6.7007, right? You will consider that these zeros they are included between, means what I am saying that it should not be like this 6.7000, because here
Okay,
zeros
sir.
are on one end, right? If the
Yes,
zeros are appearing in between the non-zero digits, whether they are continuous or non-continuous, suppose आपके 5 हो गए, then all the 5 zeros will be significant. They will be counted as
Significant. Okay,
significant, right?
Okay, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if the 0 is just after the decimal,
Then also,
Then-
if that will be a case, means first of all you just know this. This is another case, 0.704. This is a different case because you have 0 just after the decimal, but here you have a 0, right? But this is another case, 6.0704. Here you have 0 just after the decimal, but you have your 0 is included between. You don't look at the decimal for the second, means in the second point. Don't look at the decimal, wherever the decimal, let it be. You just look whether the 0 is in between the non-zero numbers. If it is so, then it will be counted as significant 0. Okay?
okay, sir.
That for that point I will come afterwards. I am writing the rules. Then after that I will come to this side, this part also, that what will happen when you have a such type of condition. Okay? First of all, non-zero digits are significant. Zeros between non-zero digits are significant. This is rule number 2, right? Then the rule number 3, trailing zeros after decimal. Beta, you will have to means focus on each and every word. Trailing zeros after decimal. Okay, after decimal the trailing zeros. So trailing zeros after decimal are significant. Okay, it means that if you have 6.700, okay, if you have 6.700, then these zeros are significant. Okay, they will be counted as significant figures. So how many significant figures you have? 4. Okay, one by one you will have to understand the rules, right? First is non-zero digits significant, zeros between non-zero digits significant, zeros, trailing zeros, but after decimal. Okay, there should be a decimal, and after decimal if you have trailing zeros, means at the end you have zeros. They are, of course, they are on one end. They are not included between non-zero numbers, but they are, according to the rule number 3, these zeros are significant. Okay, so if you have trailing zeros after decimal, you will have to just focus on this part. No? Trailing zeros after decimal will be counted as significant zeros. Okay, then the powers of 10 are non-significant. Okay, powers of 10 are non-significant. Like suppose 1.7 into 10 raised power 7. If it is like this, there is no role of this part in making the significant figures. How many significant figures you have? Only 2. Okay, because otherwise you could have mentioned it like this: 1.7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could have mentioned it this way, right? And according to the rule number 3, these zeros must be significant. Are you getting my point? According to rule number 3, means you can write this reading as this, in form of means you can write like this also. And according to rule number 3, these zeros will be significant. So it means that if you are writing in this way, then how many significant digits you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But if you are writing this way, then your number of significant digits is only 2. So it depends what type of representation is there for the particular reading. If it is represented in this way, 10 raised for something, then this part will not be, these zeros will not be counted as significant digits. But if it is there, if it is mentioned like this, then they will be counted. Okay, I know that this is a little bit means confusing type, because you will say that this is the representation of this part only, but it depends on the kind of representation, and we have just we have formulated few rules. Okay, so this type of representation, zeros will be significant, but if you are represented this way, this is called as the scientific form. This is the scientific representation. So if you have the representation of this kind, then these zeros will not be counted as significant zeros. So in this representation, number of significant figures is only 2. Okay, are you clear up to this point? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it means that it depends on the kind of representation also, that how you are representing your reading, how you are mentioning it. Okay. Then number 5. Now we come for the number less than 1. Okay. If your measurement is less than 1, then all zeros occurring to the left of the last non-zero digit are not significant. It means that suppose if you have a number less than 1, right? A number less than 1. So all the zeros, suppose your first non-zero digit is here, then all the zeros which are on the left side of the non-zero digit. How many non-zero digits? How many zeros? You have 3 zeros on the left side of first non-zero digit. But remember that it should be the condition that the number is less than 1. Means this value will be 0 only. So I must say like this. This must be 0 only. So all the zeros which are on the left side of the non-zero digit, they will be non-significant. Okay. Rule number 5. If number is less than 1, zeros left of non-zero digit is non-significant. They are not
No, sir.
significant.
We will count the zero.
Which one? See, if your number is less than, suppose it is like this, okay? So your significant digits are only 2. Okay, you will not count this zero or these zeros. You will not count them. Understood? Yes?
So there was a connection problem, sir. Can you repeat?
What I am saying that suppose this is your example, then you have only 2 significant digits. You will not count either these zeros or this one. You will not count them. They are not significant. Only these 2 digits are significant. Right? Okay? Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you have 0.0042. How many significant digits? Only 2. These 2 are significant. They are non-significant. Okay? Alright. So this was your rule number 5. Now rule number...
And sir,
Yes.
if there was minus 1.0079,
Then also better the number is less than 1. If the number is less than 1, then you will suppose you have minus 0. If your number is less than 1, minus suppose 0.0079, then again you have 2 significant figures on
no,
it.
I was asking that it was minus 1.00. If 1 or 2 minus 1 or 2 was there instead of 0.
Non-zero digits you will count. Okay, non-zero digits, what I have mentioned now, all non-zero digits are significant. Okay, in that case it will be counted. Okay, you will
So,
count.
but minus will be minus 1 will be less than 1, sir. So then also we will count that.
No. What I am saying now, you just means this. I am writing these rules in short actually. So what I want to mean here is, suppose the number is like this. It means like that. Like for a positive number less than 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this was the 5th rule. Now 6th one is, when you will solve few questions, now I will give you a worksheet. When you will solve few questions related to this, then you will come to know all the rules very clearly. Right now तो अभी जैसे मैं आपको बताता रहूँगा तो आप थोड़ा बहुत you will be always confused because there are so many rules. Okay, कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा confusion रहेगा. But when I will give you the worksheet, at that time you will come to know very clearly that how to count the number of significant figures. Okay. All right. So rule number 6 is change of units does not change number of significant figures. Okay, if you change the system of units, suppose you have 72 millimeter, you measure a length and you get 72 millimeter. So how many significant figures? You have 2, right? If you convert this to centimeter, then it becomes 7.2 centimeter. How many significant figures? 2. If you change it to meter, it will become 0.072 meter. So how many significant figures? Only 2. So it means that the change in system of units, if you have measured a quantity and in terms of some unit, if you change the system of unit, it does not change, it does not affect the number of significant figures. The number of significant figures will remain same, right? This was your rule number 6. Okay, next is trailing zeros. Trailing zeros without a decimal. Trailing zeros without a decimal point are non-significant. Okay, trailing zeros without a decimal, like suppose 26400. Okay, so these are trailing zeros and there is no decimal. So how many significant figures you have? Only 3. These 3 are significant figures. These zeros are non-significant. Trailing zeros without decimal are non-significant. Okay, if decimal is there, then they will become significant, right? So this trailing zeros without a decimal point are non-significant, right? The last rule, rule number 8, exact measurement have infinite significant figures. Exact measurement, like suppose you took a reading of number of bananas and you get 10 bananas. Okay, so now 10 bananas, there is no scope of any error because you have counted the number. This is a counting only. Okay, so exact measurement, this is a kind of exact measurement. So exact measurement will have how many significant figures? Infinite significant figures, right? Because the first uncertain digit, there is no uncertainty. So you can say that the first uncertain digit will appear at the infinite number. The digit at infinity will be the first uncertain digit. So where is uncertainty? Where you are getting the uncertainty? At infinity. So how many digits are there in significant figures? All correct digits, the first uncertain, and the first uncertain is the infinity, the last digit. So how many significant figures are there? Infinite significant figures. In an accurate measurement, there are infinite significant figures. So here again that point comes which I discussed with you earlier, that number of significant figures is directly proportional to the accurateness of the reading. More number of significant figures means that the reading is more accurate. Okay, it is this way. Now any doubt here? Want to ask something? क्या है, क्या चले गए कहीं?
Sir, there is no doubt.
Okay. Now we come on to the next point, that is rounding off. Now how to round off? See, the process is this way. Actually, you should know that how to find out the significant figures, right? Then in case of a calculation, what you will observe that suppose you have more than one reading, then you will find out that which reading is having how many significant figures. Then according to the type of calculation and the number of significant figures in different readings, you find out that how many significant figures you need to keep in the final result. Okay, that I will discuss with you later, that how we do that. Then what we do to change the number of significant figures, we do a process which is called as rounding off the number, and that we are going to discuss now, that how to round off. Rounding off. Okay, how to round off. Now for rounding off also we have some rules, right? First rule is the rules of rounding off. First rule is you must be knowing this, that if suppose you have a number 24.6754. Suppose you round off this number to 2 decimal places. You want to keep only 2 decimal places, you want to remove this. Okay, so what we do, we look at this digit. Okay, if this digit is more than 5, right? If it is more than 5, suppose I keep it like this. If it is more than 5, suppose it is 6, then what we do, we simply raise this preceding digit by 1 and leave them. So what you will get, it will be 24.68. This is rounding off, right? If this digit is less than 5, suppose 3, then we simply write this as 24.67. We do not make any change in the preceding digit, and we as it is leave the number. Okay, we as it is leave it, right? Now suppose you have 5. What you will do? Now suppose you have a 5 here, right? Now you look at the digit which is after 5. Look at this one. If this digit is non-zero, okay, if this digit is non-zero, means it can be like this. Suppose you have 5 and this place, suppose this place, it can be like this. Suppose 24.6750, or it can be 24.6753. if it is like this. Okay, if the cutoff at the cutoff digit, if your digit is 5 followed by a non-zero digit, then you simply raise this preceding digit by 1, means it will again become 24.68. So it becomes 24.68. Okay, right? Now suppose if it is 0, then again you have two conditions. Try to understand the rules. I will sum up all the rules. If this digit is 0, right? You have a 5, you want to round off up to this only 2 digits. You have 5 followed by a 0, then you have again two rules. One is you will check this one, this one. You will check this one, just a minute. Suppose this is 5, 0. You will check this digit. You will check this digit. If this digit is even, then you will raise this digit by 1, means it becomes 24.68. And if this digit is odd, you will leave as it is 24.67. Okay, these are the rules of rounding off. Once again, let me repeat. Once again, I will repeat. First rule is at the cutoff decimal point, at the cutoff digit, if your digit is more than 5, right, you will add 1 to the previous digit. if you have suppose 24.675, right, you want to suppose round off up to 2 decimal places, then it becomes 24.68, right? If it is 5 or more than, if it is 5 or more than 5, right? If it is less than 5, 24.674, then it will be 24.67. So this is the condition when you have only one digit. You will look at the digit. If it is 5 or more than 5, then you will just add 1 to here. And if it is less than 5, then you leave as it is, 24.67. Now suppose you have more digits, 24.675, and you have a digit here. Okay. Now you will look at this digit. If this digit is more than 0, if this digit is more than 0, then you will add 1 to this number. That means 24.68 it will become. And if this digit is equal to 0, then you have again two rules. If you will look at this number, the number where you want to keep the rounding off, where up to which you want to round off the decimal, your number. So you will look at that value. If it is even, then it becomes 24.68. If it is odd, then it becomes 24.67. Okay. So you have rules in this way. More than 5, add 1. Less than 5, leave it. If it is 5 and followed by some digit, then you look at the digit. If it is non-zero, add 1 to the previous one. If it is 0, then you look at the digit that up to which you want to round off. If it is even, add 1. If it is odd, leave it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? So these are the rules of rounding off. Right? Now algebraic operations. Algebraic operations with significant figures. Right? Suppose you have two quantities, a plus b or a minus b. You have two readings, right? As the addition or subtraction of two readings, you are doing some calculation in which you took two readings, a and b, and in that calculation either you are doing addition or subtraction. Then the number of significant figures in the result, number of significant not significant figures, sorry, number of digits is equal to least number of digits in any reading. I will give you an example. Suppose you have 2.47, a reading A, and you have a reading B, 3.9976. Okay, so clearly you can see that here you have three significant figures, here you have 4 plus 1, 5 significant figures. But in case of addition or subtraction, we do not look at the significant figures. What we look at is number of decimal places. Here how many decimal places are there? 2. And here how many decimal places are? 4. So your result, A plus B, once again I am repeating, in addition or subtraction, don't look at the significant figures. No need to look at the significant figures. It is very easy method. You have a easy rule for addition subtraction, that you have to just look for this decimal places. How many decimal places? 2. How many decimal places? 4. Your result, A plus B or A minus B, both must have 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So the result of addition or subtraction must have the decimal places equal to the least number of decimal places. Least is 2. So your result must have 2 decimal places. It means that you need to round off. How? Suppose I add them, what I will get? A plus B is equal to, this is 6, 7, and 9 plus 7, 6, carry 1, 10, 14, then 6.4676. How many decimal places you must have only these two, so I need to round off them. So simply you see that this is more than 5, add it and you get 6.47. This is your result after addition of these two quantities. Are you clear? Is it clear? First one, addition or subtraction. No need, don't look at the significant figures. Again and again I am repeating. Addition or subtraction of two readings, don't look at the significant figures. You look at the decimal places. Okay? And your result must have the decimal places equal to the least number of decimal places in any measurement. Okay? Suppose if you have C also, like suppose 2.7. Okay, then A plus B plus C must have how many decimal places? Please tell me, one of you, how many decimal places it must have?
1.
Huh? Yes?
Sir, 1.
Yes, correct, 1. Okay, so the least number of decimal place is 1. You have only 1, so you must have 1 decimal place, means you will have to round off to 1 decimal place. Okay, so I think the first rule is clear to you. Okay, now
Sir, if there will be no decimal place, then
if there is no decimal place, then you will have to simply add on. Okay, it means that, see, if you have suppose 7, right, it means that it is 7.0, right? If you have another reading B equals to 6, then it means that 6.0, so you already have equal number of decimal places. So your result will have 1 decimal place, that could be 0. Okay?
okay, sir.
Right.
And sir, if the decimal places in all the additions will be same, then
If decimal places is 1,
yes, sir. Sir, for example, A equals to 2.47.
just a minute. A equals to 2.47, yes, B equals to
3.36.
3.36. If you want to
So,
add
sir,
them,
the decimal place is 2
yes,
in
right.
this.
The result must have
So,
2
sir,
decimal
we will
places.
take 2 only.
The result must have 2 decimal places.
Yes, sir. Sir, the least value is also 2, so we will
Huh?
take 2
Yes,
only.
your least is itself 2. Here how many? 2. Here how many? 2. So what is least? Least is 2 only. So when you will add them, what you will write? 7 plus 6, 13. Carry 1, 8.5.83. No need to round off. You already
Okay,
have 2
sir.
decimal places. Okay?
Okay, sir.
One more example I would
Yes.
like to give you that just now came to my mind, that you can have such type of condition also, that suppose you have 2.7 A and you have B equals to 3.3, right? Now if you add them, A plus B, how much you will get? It will be 6, correct? Right? So how many decimal places you must have in your answer? 1. But how many decimal places? None. So how you will write? You will not write 6. You will write 6.0.
6.0.
Correct? You will not mention 6. If you are writing 6, it is wrong. If you are writing 6.0, then it is correct. Okay? So you will have to keep these rules in your mind. 6 is different from 6.0 in that case. Why? Because 6, how many significant figures are there in 6? Only 1. And how many significant figures are there in 6.0? 2. Are you getting it? As per the rule, the zeros at the end, the zeros trailing after the decimal point are significant. So here significant digits are 2 and here significant digits are only 1. There is only one significant digit. So they are different. Right? Okay. Now next is multiplication or division. Suppose you have addition or subtraction, so we look for the number of decimal places. Now in case of multiplication or division, suppose you have A multiply B or A divided by B. Suppose you have multiplication or division, then you will look for the number of significant digits. Okay, and it should be equal to the number of significant digits in the result must be equal to the least number of significant digits in any reading. Okay, in any of the reading, you will find out. Suppose you have A equals to 2.467 and you have B equals to 3.2, right? How many significant digits here? 4. How many significant digits? 2. So A into B, right? A into B or A divided by B must have how many significant digits? 2. So if I multiply them, I will get 2.467 and this is 3.2. 7, 14, 6 to 12, 13, 9, 2 to the 4, 7 3 are 21, 6 3 are 18, 22, 4 3 12, 14, 3 to the 6, 7, 4, 4, 9, 8, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get? Your answer is 7.8944. Right? So how many significant figures this result must have? It should have the least number of significant figures. How many? 2. So I will round off in such a way that up to which place I will have to round off? 8, 9 or 4? Which one? Yes, tell me. Yes, because if you will round off up to 8, then you will have 2 significant figures, right? So you will have to look at the significant figures. So you need to remove these 3 decimal places, these last 3 digits. So the answer is, this digit is more than 5, so your answer is 7.9. Okay? So in case of multiplication or division, you look at the number of significant digits and the result must have the least number of significant digits that any reading is having there. Okay? The number of significant figures in the result must be equal to the least number of significant digits in any reading. Right? In case of addition subtraction, we don't look for significant figures, we look for the decimal places. The decimal places of result must be equal to the least number of decimal places in any any reading. Okay? Any doubt?